Wow. What's up, guys? It's Ken. I just wanted to make a video. Why am I doing this? Well, this is my second or third attempt of making a video, but I have not had the motivation to upload it. Yeah, I've not had the motivation to upload a video. Wow. And this is either a good thing or a bad thing, because right now, seeing as how I'm not really active on here as much as I used to be, I keep getting subscribers and I appreciate it. No, I'm just wondering where they're coming from. But that's that's a mystery I could solve on my own at some point. Now, future plans for this channel, if there are any new Bot Bits to review, which I'm not saying there are, and I'm not saying they're not, if there are, you can bet I'm going to review them. Because Bot Bit is one of the popular topics on my channel. And yes, I will be using something that shows me on camera. Or at least shows when I'm reviewing on camera. Hopefully it's not another one of those Bot Bit Extremes that we keep on getting. And speaking of that, I was actually planning on getting a replacement Bot Bit Extreme 2022. However, on Amazon, they're backed up. So the only way to get one is going on the aftermarket. Yeah, that's eBay. Nope, not happening. There is no way. I'm not doing it. There's also something else I want to talk about. I've been going on and on and on and on about this. MP3 players. For the past, I want to say almost 2 years, I've been going on about this whole MP3 player thing. Yeah, I've been thinking about how the iPod Touch died. Not the physical product, but the line itself died. So, I've been thinking about, what should I do since it died? Someone, I'm not naming names, I really don't want to name names because this is a public platform, and who knows if this person is going to watch this video. Somebody once told me to use an old phone that someone's either not using or I'm not using, or I could use a Rockbox modded MP3 player. No, not Rockbox, you. I was gonna try in one of the trials of this video, I was going to suggest that I was gonna do a project where I get a modded iPod Classic and I would just put Rockbox on there. But I worked with, should I just say Catherine or Kane? You know what? Just for old time's sake, I'm just gonna say Kane. Because I don't give a rip. I don't give a rip anymore. At this point, I don't give a rip. But me and Kane were looking on the interwebs, on eBay in particular, looking for an iPod Classic 7. And they range anywhere from $87 all the way up to like, I don't know, $300. Both brand new and used. Used are like around the $160 mark. I don't know why. Some of them are either in good condition or sometimes they're modded. However, I thought, you know what? The best course of action is to do something stupid. Yeah, that's right. I'm going on another one of those impulse buys again. You guys are not going to like it. Yeah, you guys are totally not going to like it. After I did my rant video on the Elton X voice recorder and how much I actually paid for that, $220 for that, in that review, seeing as how, one, I didn't actually show the product actually, but the Olympus one was a lot more drawn out, and it was more mainstream of a voice recorder. And I talked about how in that rant that the Olympus recorder got a whole lot more views. Also for that reason of it being a mainstream recorder. You could buy it in stores. Heck, you know what, that Elton X recorder, that was also on Amazon at one point, back in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And you know what? That Microspeak was also on Amazon at one point. It's no longer on there anymore. Like dead gum, like some of them products still have their page up, and it's not available. The Olympus LSP4, which is something that I wanted to try and get. But it's like the Olympus DM720, where it has the built-in USB thing. It could either be a good thing or a bad thing that it has it. But the one thing I would have wanted it for was the Bluetooth capabilities. Yeah, it wasn't accessible in that area of the recorder, but who cares? I don't really care. But the main function of a recorder, at least back in the days of when they were around, back in the early 2000s, was to record your lectures, meetings, podcasts. Some people even used their external microphones on their computers. Some people used software like OBS or, heck, even Audacity to record podcasts. Or even videos. Heck, even Chris Wright, back in his early days. Shout out goes to Chris Wright, by the way, if he ever watches this channel. He used Audacity. In fact, even in the modern day, he uses it. Still relative today as it was back then. That Microspeak voice recorder does come with Audacity, so if I ever were to get it, yeah, I'd be using Audacity. But would I get that $60 voice recorder just for Audacity? No. That's a waste of money when Audacity is in reality a free software. It's a free piece of software that you can download, and I've had it before. In fact, you can get Audacity on Linux as well. So, the impulse buy that I was thinking about was something that I mentioned on stream about a week ago when I was talking to someone about their, about what they could do with their old iPhone that they didn't really need anymore. I told them that they should invest in a Gimi Play Pro Smart Player. It's called a Smart Player. It's not an MP3 player. It's an iPod-like device that's literally Android-based, running Android 12 from a company called Gimi. Yeah. Yeah. They have Gimi devices like the Gimi Connect, which is their phone. The highest end phone that they got is $129. Yeah. That just tells you that they're for kids. But the Smart Player, I wouldn't expect it to have a camera on it. Like, for goodness sakes, the original iPod Touch and the second generation, and heck, even the third generation didn't even have a camera. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect much. I'm not sure what the Galaxy Player had, but the Galaxy Player was Samsung's version of an iPod. There you go. It was also Android based, running a version of Android 4.0, and it was supported until 2016, about 8 years ago, practically. So, yeah, Android based MP3 players, or the coin. I mean, they're coined as MP3 players, but in reality, it's a smart player. Sometimes there are DAPs, digital audio players, that have hi-fi sound and all that stuff. Those are for real audiophiles, though. Those are not for your average guy who wants to listen to music on an MP3 player or a smart player, for that matter. There is a low-end hi-fi player that I put a link to in a Discord server that no one cares about. The Hi-Fi Digital M300, which is $200, and no way am I paying for that. It's literally the exact same thing as my iPod Touch with an extra gigabyte of RAM, and it runs Android 13, not iOS. Which, hey, no other company makes an iOS device. But yeah, so I was thinking about maybe doing that at some point. But then again, I gotta think about some other things to consider. Like, this year, things are gonna be changing in my life. Hopefully. So yeah. I'm actually glad the new year is around. There are some things that I'm curious about on that Jimmy Play Pro, though. And they are, what's the accessibility like? What launcher does it use? Uh, what Android version can you update it to, if you can update it? If you can. If you can't, well, it's stuck on 12, which I don't really care. As long as TalkBack is supported, heck, I don't care. That version of Android was released in 2021, about 3 years ago practically, and it's not that bad off. It's not that far off. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about. I don't think there's any real reason for me to buy it because, first of all, one, I really don't need it, and two, if I get it, it'll get me right back into Android. And we all know how that ended up. We all know how I ended up mind flipping between iOS and Android and back again. Well, I can't really do that this time because the SIM card, the physical SIM card, is gone. I have an iPhone that only supports eSIM. Hint, hint, released in September of 2023. Hint, hint. Actually, you guys should already know. Some of you should. And it's got USB-C, USB-C. Finally, iPhones have USB-C. Finally. What are they going to do next? Allow you to have a default music player, maybe? Apple Music, YouTube Music. Yeah, let's go, buddy. Yeah. But, yeah, I actually do. I mean, In my honest opinion, I don't think a smart player is gonna make me. I don't think it's gonna make me want to switch back to Android. Just today, I was messing with my Samsung Galaxy A53, and I had a bit of a problem. You see, when I used it, the Samsung keyboard partially didn't show. What I mean is, I felt around, and usually the Q, W, and E keys they would show. So I felt around with TalkBack, and it started with the R key, and I'm like, really? How did this get messed up? And then I went into another app and closed out some apps and closed them all, and then the keyboard got fixed. So it wanted me to set up the TalkBack Braille keyboard, but all it had me do was select it, and there it was. So yeah, that's just another thing. I mean, I like Android. I like iOS. I like Windows. I like Linux. I like Mac OS. Chrome OS, kinda. Not really. Windows, well, it gets a pass. Linux, I just like how you can do things in the command line. You can move and copy files. You can update apps. You can update all the system with one command, especially on Arch. If you have the PARU thing in there, it's an AUR helper. If you just type in PARU, it'll update the device. It'll update your system with that one command. Sure, I could probably do it on Ubuntu. Sure, I could also do it on something like maybe Mac OS, but actually Mac OS, you can just update the thing through the regular update settings. Windows, I can just go to check for updates, and then it'll be there. And then iOS, Android, of course, they have similar things. iOS and Android are similar yet different operating systems. For example, iOS is you got one home screen style. You got one home screen style, meaning you got only one launcher basically in the Android scheme of things. On Android, you got a bunch of launchers. If you have a Pixel phone, you have the Pixel launcher. If you have Samsung, you have One UI. If you have a OnePlus or Huawei or whatever, you have Oxygen OS or whatever it is. Now, if I were to do, because I'm kind of curious about different technology, like the Gmail Play Pro. If I were to do that, what launcher would it have? What skin? What Android UI would it have? Someone told me that there's no drawer on it. Oh no, wait, that was the Pixel. Never mind. The Pixel G5 was one that I was looking at. Came out in 2022 with a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and the other one has 3000 milliamp hour battery. But I don't know. I think that it'll come with, it might just be a generic launcher like any other Chinese crap show. I might just get it just for the lows, just for laughs. Maybe mess around with it for like maybe a day or two and just, I'll just probably end up, if I do if I end up getting it, I might just mess around with it for maybe a day or two and just, in all honesty, put it in a drawer somewhere where it can't be found. The thing is made of cheap plastic. I mean, the thing is made of plastic and it's completely. I mean, if it was cheap according to someone, and I don't know, it just is weird. No speaker. Okay, I gotta remember this. The iPod Touch, first and second generations, they didn't have speakers. So I gotta think about that. I mean, it's a kid's device, so I don't even know why I'm even interested in that. I don't even know why I'm interested in Android smart players in the first place. That's essentially what it is an Android-based smart player, and I think I know why I'm not motivated to upload videos like this. It's because I guess I just get tired of talking about the same thing over and over and over again. It really is getting tiring. So this year, after this video is uploaded, no more videos talking about this, unless if I were to get it. So yeah, see you guys later.